It's such a treat for us today. It's an absolute honor to be here. So I'm just going to give folks a moment to come in, but then we'll get started. And for the panelists, just so you know, we have about 20 minutes maximum, and just to give us time to talk about things afterwards. That would be great. Thank you. And I can give you the 2 minutes if you want. I'll give you the 2 minutes? Okay. I'll be on it. Someone's paying attention up here. If everyone could turn off, make sure your phones are turned off, that would be amazing. I know we're a responsible cohort here. No one would have their phone left on. So the off chance that there's a stray phone, please turn them off out of respect for our amazing readers. And I do have to tell you, I actually know the 3 people up here, and they are amazing. We are beyond excited, and this is going to be such a treat today. Hands down, I was thinking, I've won the lottery getting to chair this particular session. I'm excited. So Lin Yang, I have to say, I've seen read before, and it was a tremendous experience, and I'm so excited. I was like, oh man, this is going to be fun. So we'll start off. I'm going to read people's bios, but only the first couple sentences, just to give you a sense of them. There's more of the bios in the program, as everyone can get to, but frankly, I would rather we have time for the readings. Absolutely. So we'll start with Lin Yang. We'll head off right now, if that's okay, and I'll give everyone a 2 minutes left to wrap things up if need be, and then we're going to have time for thoughts and comments, discussion, and that can just be one of the most invigorating parts as well, as we reflect as a group on this experience of hearing everyone read. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you to our readers. Lin Yang is a mixed race of a Taiwan indigenous tribe Toroko, a writer who also has sideline jobs as a lyricist, composer, and painter. Author of the novel The Halloween Circus series, which won the Ministry of Culture Books from Taiwan, the National Arts Association Literature Grant. There's lots of prizes and global awards as well. So we'll let you take off. Thank you so much. Okay. I'll move.
Well, my voice is not that loud, so I'll use this. And the story I'm going to tell is about the tribe we have in Taiwan. Like, I'm one of them because it's on my mother's side. The indigenous people, they were living beside the ocean and the plain field. But when the people came from across the ocean, they forced the indigenous people into the mountains. So they are basically, the old tribe are in the mountains now. And I'm going to tell a story based on the history that the indigenous people from like 100 years ago, they were being eaten by the Chinese people that come from the sea. Well, it's very strange because when you look in the history of Kangxi, one of the emperor from the 18th century or the 19th century, the Qing dynasty, you'll see that in his 60th birthday, they'll have a menu of everything like the fins of the shark and the paw of the leopard and the brain of the monkey. So it's like you caught a monkey and it's a traditional dish in China. So you put the monkey alive on a table and you hold it down and you cut his skull open alive and you started to eat its brain alive. Yep. So it's a really expensive and crazy, cruel dish that I will never try. That's so crazy. So you'll know that they eat differently than most people. Well, so when they first come to this island, Taiwan, they felt like the indigenous people running in the forest are like monkeys, so they just ate them. They're like, we have a darker skins, and we can climb trees like monkeys. Totally, we have very strong arms and feet, and we run in the mountains like this degree and very fast. That is just not like human. That is like Superman or a monkey. So that they didn't see us like humans. So they presume that we are some wild animal in the forest and we don't speak the same language. So they just hunt us and eat some of my ancestor. That is crazy. Yes, so I'm going to tell this story. It's called the ointment. You just have to remember one word that is not familiar to you. It's the name of the character which is Sinu. Yes, just this one. Everything else is quite okay. Sinu touched his son's dark, hot face and told him to be good and not move while the doctor pinched his wrist. The doctor let go of his son's wrist, wiped his hands with a handkerchief, and said that the malaria would be incurable if it were not treated. Sinu asked again for the money for the medicine, even though he knew he couldn't afford it. Nothing was done to cure it, so Sinu picked up his son and left. As soon as he walked out, the doctor chased and stopped him, asking for the consultation fee. Sinu held his son in one hand, took the money with the other, and gave it to the doctor. The doctor looked at him for a while and said there was a very effective prescription for malaria treatment. Sinu looked at the doctor. The doctor said it was a kind of ointment. Then nothing more was said, and the silence lasted for a while. Then the doctor suddenly asked Sinu whether he was still in contact with the savages outside the village. Sinu hesitated for a moment, shook his head, and then nodded. The doctor said that if Sinu could invite some people of his kind down the mountain to the village, if so, the doctor could ask the pharmacy to prepare the ointment for Sinu. Sinu knew that what that meant. Although his Hokkien was not very good, the language of Taiwan, he still understood it. He said nothing and left with his son in his arms. He wiped the sweat off his son's face, fed him mashed yams, and tucked the boy in, but his son's condition kept getting worse. The boy cried out from the cold and then the heat, and was shaking like a cricket on the bed. How long has it been since he last contacted his old tribe in the mountains? The only person he was familiar with there was probably his great-uncle. Sinu wiped his son's hot, dark face with wet clothes. Who else was in the tribe? Who else was on the mountain? He couldn't quite remember. He has been down the mountain in the village for too long to be a savage. He wiped his son's chest with the wet clothes. The boy's chest was dark with distinct ribs. The boy shivered and cried out in pain. Maybe he could go back, Sinu thinks. Scrubbing the boy's feet, Sinu thought those feet looked just like his father's, suitable for running in the mountains. He should be running freely, not being sick in bed. Sinu thought so as he wiped his son's sweat for several nights. On that day when his son urinated red blood, he finally went back to find the doctor, made an appointment with the doctor, and said he would lead the people from the tribe down the mountain to the plum tree beside the village. When Sinu got home and looked at his son's face, Sinu thought about it all night. He didn't want the boy to see what was going to happen. Sinu decided to send his son to his great-uncle first. He carried his son on his back and walked out of the village up the mountain for half a day, arriving at his great-uncle's place at sunset. Sinu asked his great-uncle to take care of the boy for a few days. Then Sinu changed into the old clothes he had prepared, like the traditional clothes of the tribe, hurried to the next inhabited place in the mountain. At night, Sinu told his old tribe that a celebration would be held at the plum tree down the mountain next to the village, and anyone could participate to enjoy free fruit, wine, and meat. He also brought several strips of dried meat as a gift for the people in the tribe, as well as a small pot of wine. A few days later, he left the mountain and returned to the village and waited. The village was very quiet. Soon there was a commotion, and many people came back from the plum tree. They celebrated and held up their spears with dark human heads stuck on them. People out in the street were beating drums and gongs and shouting, "Great, great, the hunt count was 17, young and old, 17 in total." The atmosphere of joy spread throughout the village down below the mountain. Fortunately, Sinu has taken his son to his great-uncle's house. His son doesn't need to witness this. Sinu walked to the deepest part of the house, where there was no window. He doesn't want to witness what is going to happen next. People in the village would peel off the tribe people's skin, cut their meat into strips, and sell it at a very high price, a price that Sinu couldn't even afford a pound. After the meat was sold, the internal organs were stewed in pots into hot offal, which is called 翻下水. And the remaining bones will be boiled into gel. The gel of their bones will be made into ointment for treating malaria. 2 days later, the ointment was ready. The doctor gave Sinu a receipt and asked him to go to the pharmacy to get it. Sinu handed the receipt to the old man in the pharmacy. The old man looked at the receipt and handed Sinu a box of ointment without saying anything. Sinu was worried and asked if this was that kind of ointment. Is this the ointment that can treat malaria? Can it cure his son? The old man was silent for a while before he began to teach him how to use it. Before Sinu left, the old man stopped him, burned incense, and lit a lamp for him, asking Sinu to watch his step at night in the mountain. Sinu accepted it, held the ointment tightly in his hand, and rushed up to the mountain to his great-uncle's place overnight with a lamp in his hand. When Sinu arrived at the tribe, he couldn't find his great-uncle and his son. He asked the people in the tribe. The people said that the two of them had left 2 days ago. Sinu's great-uncle heard that there was a celebration in the village. And in order to make the little boy feel better, Sinu's uncle carried the boy to participate, and they haven't returned yet. The light in Sinu's hand shone on the black ointment, and Sinu stared at it in a daze. The ointment had already been held hot by his temperature. It was so warm, just like his son's warm, dark face. So they actually boil their organs into soup or stew. Even when it's like 60 years ago, people still heard about there's some storing beneath the mountains. Still, it's so crazy. So the Japanese, they once lord our island. They try to stop people to eating those indigenous people, but people just don't listen. So they kept eating them. But I'm the mixed blood of Taiwanese and the indigenous people, so it's like one side of my ancestor, they were eating the other side of my ancestors. So it's very complex. So yes. Well, it's a really strange history in Taiwan that rarely people knows it, but it's written in a lot of historical books and some people just don't talk about it because it's too crazy. Yes, and I gotta say that I'm the mixed blood. So when I'm in childhood, the Taiwanese they see me as one from the tribe, but the tribe people they see me as the Taiwanese. So I'm like I didn't belong in anywhere, and also I have the Asperger's syndrome. So it's like I'm not even human. When I was a kid, I'm still not feeling like one right now. I like human a lot. That is so strange to say it. I mean, you can see that I'm an Asperger. Not most of the Asperger's syndrome, they like human. Most of them just hate them. I'm the one special one that I actually love humans. So sometimes I feel like I really want to engage in every part of the socialized life. But it's like I'm a goat and I'm looking at a bunch of fish swimming in the streams. And I'm like, I want to be a part of them, so I'll like, bah! And the fish will go blob and just shock and swim away. So when sometimes in my life, like 10 years or 20 years ago, I just feel like I should just sit beside the river and just look at them quietly so they wouldn't be scared by me. Because the basic thing of Asperger's syndrome is like something between a dick and a weirdo. So something between them. Someone is very much like a dick, which is very annoying. I met some of them that's just, I cannot tolerate them. And the weirdo one is more harmless. So I try to be that part of the Asperger's syndrome. So you can see that I'm really a weirdo. But I'm like a better person than I'm when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was totally a dick. So yes, everyone knows that. so I'm like a weirdo now, a more harmless weirdo. So when we talk about like translation a few days at the TED's reading. So it's feeling like I'm always translating myself to people about my feelings and my mind and my thoughts, so people can barely just understand a few thoughts of mine. So it's like I finally find a way to express myself, to translate myself to people. It is literature and art, so people can know how I feel. What is in my mind and my heart, and what is my feeling? Because this is so difficult to Asperger's syndrome people that they just cannot let people understand what they're feeling. It is just so difficult. People will see them as machine or just weirdo. so if you the best way for you to understand is my song, which I wrote them for my novel series. So you can see that I'll play it, and you can see what I feel when I'm writing things. Yes. After the spring comes the winter. After the wind comes the thunder. This is how the seasons go. This is how the seasons go. After the rains comes the summer. After this is the fourth song for my fourth book in my novel series. It has like 9 books, and every book should have one song to like a package. So it will be a long road for me. I'm still writing the 5th book. It's been like 13 years, and I feel like my passion has kind of like dried out. So I'm afraid of that. I'm starting to think that if it's just a temporary thing, like just a stage for me, or is it just aging, like I'm being older, so I'll just lose all of my compassion and anything else. So I'm still worrying about it, and I'll try to figure that out, because I still have to finish all the 9 books of it. It's a mess. Yes, and I can send you the 5th song of the 5th book. I haven't been published. I will publish it maybe in the October. So just a little bit.
Coming close to time.
Oh yes, I know. I got the. You'll hear the chicken screaming if. Yes. I had a leather tree, pine born of fruit, but fine, and a silver craving vine, and the golden curls that shine. The girl who traveled far across the brine, who asked for the cones that shine, only one that's fine, asked for more than 9. Her cheek was red as wine, her hair was black as me. She's pretty but not that fine, not worthy of the coins of mine. I said, find the hair outside, who should know better than just wine. And no more should you whine, no cause should you dine. I had a leather tree, pine born of fruit, but fine. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Absolutely stunning. I have so many things that I'm excited to talk about and get into. So thank you for an absolutely riveting beginning to this. I'm now we're going to save the questions for folks who come in. We're going to save the questions till the end. I think it's going to be an animated discussion already. I'm excited. And I'm utterly honored to be introducing a longtime role model, and just in Australia, Kate's a bit of a big deal, right? Okay, Kate's a bit of a big deal. So Kate Kennedy is an Australian author, widely published as a novelist, short story author, poet, and essayist. Studied professional writing and editing at the University of Canberra and literature studies at the Australian National University, and attained her PhD in creative writing by research at La Trobe University in 2021, where her doctoral thesis was awarded the Nancy Millis Medal. She is, in her home country of Australia, best known as a short story practitioner, but has also published poetry, novel, and travel memoirs. I know her as a short story writer, and her short stories continually, they're exciting. They're the kinds of stories that you can't put down. You have to get to the end before you go to sleep. And I am absolutely honored to be introducing Kate Kennedy. We are in for a treat.
Thank you so much, world famous in Australia. I thought I would read you a combination of short pieces, if that's okay. I've been talking here at the conference, and quite a few of us seem to be dipping into some flash fiction. We had a bit of a launch last night. It was a flash fiction collection, and I was talking to other authors who've been saying, I've been trying some shorter pieces, and let me tell you, if Robin Hamlin's doing it, we are on the curve. So I'm going to be reading some very short pieces. I'm putting these together. I sort of wish I knew that we were going to have some multimedia this morning, because these pieces are things that I am writing kind of ekphrastically. I've been taking images, and I've been making a little story, and hopefully I'm thinking something like a picture and 1,000 words, something like that, so that I can publish them together. But today you just have to listen to what they are. The first two are very short, and they're both based in hospitals. This one's called Visiting Hours. My mother seems to have aged 20 years in 10 days. The skin on her face is shrunken and her eyes are a little wild, glittery with medication and terror. This is my daughter, she tells the nurse who is taking her blood pressure when I arrive. And the nurse looks over tidily and says hi. She's doing a...
That appeared in an American anthology a few years ago, Anthology of Icelandic Short Stories. It takes place in northwestern Iceland. You can't get there really unless by boat, and the characters here are hiking. I'm gonna warn you, trigger warning, there's a lot of place names, Icelandic place names. So don't worry about them, but Icelanders won't know these place names either, most of them. So anyway, it's called Traveling Companion. Reykjavik, July 11. She set off for the West Fjords earlier, maybe Hattag. She won't want cod. Then she can go and sit in the hot pot down by the shoreline before she goes to sleep. Will certainly take half a sleeping pill after all the things that have happened. Red splashes all over the walls, they'd better not dry and harden. July 12th, text message, 7:42 a.m. We're setting off if you'd like to know. They clearly don't intend taking more than an hour and a half in getting from Drangsnes to the pier in Norðurfjörður. Should have got there about 9 to load the boat. A traveling group of 15 will have quite a bit of accompanying luggage. Well, 14 actually. It's one of the most majestic routes to drive. The Kaldbaksvík Inlet, for example, with cliffs on all sides.
With the unspoken or the unacknowledged, and how do we navigate that as writers?
Oh, yes, and also the indigenous people, they have some history that even our government that couldn't like tell the children what we were doing. Like the Taiwanese, they used to eat us. They eat us. So but we hunt people too. It's like a trophy. So we just we cut off their head and just place them in front of our home, so people can see, oh, this man, he's so good, he has so many human heads in front of his house, he's like a great warrior. So when the government now, they have to have a museum or something for the indigenous people to tell children about our life, they'll put the shelf there, but tell the children that, oh, this is a shelf for their prey. They don't talk about what the prey is. They mostly just say prey. But sometimes they'll add something like the prey, and some of them were human heads, like that. Yes. And most people know that because a lot of indigenous writers in Taiwan, they talk about this, so people know that.
Yeah, the unsayable thing, really, isn't it? Not so much. It's funny, my workshop was called Dialogue, What's Said and What's Not Said. But there's another whole layer, of course, which is what is the thing that remains unsayable underneath everything, that third layer. Not even the stuff that's acknowledged internally, but the thing that makes us a stranger to ourselves, I guess. And the thing that happens in something momentous, which I always think is the best thing to try and dig into in terms of making a story. The thing that stops you in your tracks momentarily literally becomes the moment which is momentous, and it haunts you. So the thing that you're lying in bed at night chewing over, that you can't put into words, that is haunting you and returning to you, I guess that's the thing that I'm thinking, why this? What's this thing? What's the pattern here? Like, you know, that's insomnia to me. Is trying to circle something. Isn't that beautiful? I think it might be Goethe. I'm trying to think. I can't think who said this, but it's a little piece that says, "Know your bone." Do you know the expression? Know your bone. Bury it and circle it and dig it up and chew it and bury it again. That's your bone, you know. And that's what I feel about our material. The more you write, the more you begin to see what you're circling. The thing that is your hot coal that you're juggling secretly to yourself all the time. And so I'm very interested in that slightly taboo edge that's a little bit, I don't know, destabilising to even address. And you feel it when you're writing it. I can certainly feel it when I'm listening to a story. And I can feel it when I'm reading a story to somebody that you've kind of touched a little nerve. I really think that is the most potent territory to try and be in if you can, you know, to be trying to at least gesture towards on a symbolic level, even if you don't want to address it explicitly. It's going to be there. It's firing everything underneath the surface. So.
Yeah.
And just quickly to speak before I pass on the microphone. I was.
Let me think about it.
Well, it's a complicated question. I think much of it happens, I think.
Of scientists from like 北洋军阀时代. I don't know how to say it in English. Maybe 北洋army. Okay. It's about like the early 20th century in Beijing, China. Yes. It's a time that it's First World War. And at that point, people the military doctors, they do crazy experiment on people because they will die eventually, so they just put them into their maybe something for the medicine. So I try to make them do an experiment to change people's brains, so some people can be like live forever with their brain moving to a new body. So I'm really curious that what perspective should I take? Like, should it be the victim from now, this time a young couple who've been swapped up with their brain, or just Bei Young Army? Yes, I'm right. Thank you. Bei Young Army. So should it be the victim, the boyfriend who was being transported to his girlfriend's body, and she was pregnant with his own baby? So that is crazy. Or should it be the perspective of one of the scientists who has lived already like 120 years? So that is so difficult. Or maybe I should take both and put them like this in the story. I'm still struggling, so I don't have the actual answer. Maybe you have it.
Actually, it's a really good thing to bring up. That idea that choices as writers, where are we asking the reader to go now? And how am I going to be in complete control of your emotional experience?
Can I go? Sure. Okay. So one of the things that I was struck with this panel is that we have Australia, Taiwan, Iceland. This is an international panel, and right? And yet we're here in Ireland, right? And back in Australia, I work with Indigenous colleagues, thinking a lot about language as a settler tool, right? And then I was thinking, we were talking at dinner last night with Runan about the importance of the Icelandic language in maintaining culture, right? And then also, though, that English is something unified. Like, we're here together because we are able to share English. And thinking about English, this is the short story conference in English, right? And so English is also, it can be problematic, but it can also be unifying. And I was just wondering if you three would mind talking about what it means to write in English or be translated in English, and what your relationship to language, the English language is. And it's okay if It's not positive.
Well, yeah, okay. I told her yesterday that some look at English as a killer language. Because
They're originally written in English, so I have to translate it into Chinese for my readers, because my novel was written in Chinese. So that is very complicated, because I don't know why I did that, but it feels just good and just right. Because I'm writing like 18th century Europe and a circus with witch hunt, with a little girl being burned by the people. So it feels just right to write songs in English, but I write the story in Chinese so people can understand the story and listen to the song, so they can kind of feel that emotion, that place, the wind that blowing in the city of the story. So it's like something behind the story, like the landscape or the voice of the time. So that is a strength that I use, like two language in one story. And also, when I'm an indigenous people from Taiwan, people will say that you should write in your own language, so the language can be known. Or but I said that so when I choose to write in that language, people would just forget we're there. So I choose to write in a lot of language, include that too. Like we have Taiwanese, we have Chinese, we have that native Taiwanese language, and I have English. So it's like 4 language I can choose. So it's like a free choice for me. I can choose whatever I want when the feeling is right. So something like that.
I don't want to add anything to that. I'll let
Fair enough. Well, we are coming up to time. I do want to offer a promotional plug from your moderator sponsor, that's me, that at 4 p.m. today, there's going to be an amazing panel on How Short is Short in Suite 4. I may or may not be involved with that particular panel, but just want to let you know it's going to be a good one. I've been speaking with some of the other folks who are going to be presenting on that. And on that, thank you for indulging me. On that note, I would just love to thank these
Shady Tasman is there for some great knowledge.
Absolute pleasure. I think everyone is going to leave feeling invigorated. So
It was excellent.
Oh, I love being a facilitator, a moderator on your panels.
You are so inspiring for me.
So hyped on it. No, we're gonna have fun. I was like, I know we're gonna have fun. Yes. And I found your story utterly heartbreaking, and thank you. So, but that's important, you know.
I really enjoyed it. And you know what, when you explained, before you started the story, as soon as you started the story, I thought, oh no.
Yes, they actually sell that kind of medicine.
right,
It's called Fan Gao, like the indigenous people's. It sounds like the ointment was made by the indigenous people.
It does sound like that, but no. Yeah. Well, it was beautiful. Like it was dark and violent, but also quite touching. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Carry on. Are we on later?
I'll go to the 4
Yeah. No pressure.
I was wondering about the last anthology.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, I was trying to order it, but the last one didn't come. They told me eventually we can't get a hold of it.
No, just go look for Ellen.
Because I